All right, go ahead.
Notice the architecture and setting of this memorial. The roofline angles, the river, the footbridge. This scene is strikingly similar to Amsterdam, Holland, city of canals, bridges, and narrow angular buildings. For more than 2 years, Anne Frank hid in a 5-story building along the canal in Amsterdam. Her family had moved from Frankfurt, Germany, to the Netherlands in 1933, the year the Nazi Party was voted into power. Adolf Hitler became chancellor and soon dictator. The Nazis blamed Jews and other so-called undesirables for Germany's social and economic problems. Immediately, wide-scale persecution campaigns began against them. The Frank family, though Jewish, lived relatively free of this spreading discrimination until May 1940, when the German army invaded Holland. Rumors spread that Jews were being taken to camps in Germany, where few returned alive. Anne's older sister, Margot, then only 16 years old, was summoned for deportation to a labor camp in 1942. If Margot failed to report, the entire family would be arrested. The Frank family went into hiding. A young Pavel Friedman wrote the poem that appears on the cityscape wall during his time in Terezin, a Nazi-run ghetto in the Czech Republic. Trying to cloak the brutal Final Solution campaign from international scrutiny, the Third Reich advertised Terezin as a resort-like retirement community for the elderly and infirm, and a haven for well-known Jews, including artists and writers. Nazi leaders even allowed a Red Cross International inspection team inside ghetto walls for 1 day in 1944. In reality, conditions at Terezin were horrendous. It was the waiting room to Auschwitz and other extermination camps in the East. Pavel was deported to Auschwitz, where he died in September 1944. Of 15,000 children sent to Terezin, 152 survived. Like Pavel, the words of Anne Frank show what the Holocaust meant for 6 million Jewish men, women, and children murdered by the Nazis, and for the 5 to 6 million political dissidents, disabled individuals, gypsies, prisoners of war, and lesbian, gay, and transgender citizens exterminated by the Third Reich. As you enter the annex, read the quotes in the marble bookcase. Think what it was like for a 13-year-old girl to walk into her new home for the first time, where she would wait out the war, never going outside.
Come on. All right, we'll go up the annex. This might have been what Anne Frank would have come up. This is supposed to be the annex, right? And this little area is where 8 people live. This is located by the library downtown Boise. This is a statue of, supposed to be Anne Frank looking out the window. This would be like what the room might look like, or the house. There's a lot of people who donated money for this, and they get their names on, dedicated to different people and their families and stuff. Information Center. Did we already do this one?
Welcome to the Idaho Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial. Downtown Boise may seem an unlikely location to be dedicated to a young girl from so far away, but the legacy Anne left for human dignity is alive here. The idea for this memorial was inspired by a traveling exhibit, Anne Frank in the World, which came to Idaho for a month.
So that's the Human Rights Park down here in Boise, Idaho, off in the Greenbelt here. Dedicated to human rights, people who were killed for their human rights, or anti-human rights, and dedicated mostly to Anne Frank. So, give me another minute to look at it. The best tool yet devised for improving society is freedom by Senator Frank Church. So, from the Idaho Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial,